Hello, good morning, everybody. If you'd like to, actually, I like it if you do, to put your video on so that I could see you. It doesn't matter what your hair looks like or anything, but it makes me feel more like personal, like, well, thank you. Like we're really all here together. So thank you for doing that. Jennifer, I'm going to ask you to put the Zoom link in the chat because I saw that somebody in the chat put that their friend signed up but didn't get the invite. They should have gotten the automatic invite. So whoever is on their iPhone, that's how it shows up in the chat, says iPhone. If you could copy and paste this and send it to your friends so that they could still join in, that would be great. All right, so welcome everybody. How many of you, is this your first time on one of these calls with us? If you could put that in the chat. So Catherine, I saw you raised your hand. Thank you. Yeah, just put it in the chat. I'd just like to know how many people this is their first time. I'm actually going to do this this call a little bit differently because I actually did a PowerPoint for this. So you'll get to see me and my PowerPoint. Just thought it would give us a little more structure. And the things that I want to share with you are more specific points of things. Patrice, you've done several. Awesome. Yvonne, second time. Great, 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 great. All right, so, good morning, everybody. If we could just take a moment and just settle in together before we start. If everybody could just come to a comfortable seat with your feet on the floor and your hands on your lap. And whether or not you've ever practiced mindfulness before, if this is your first time, it's perfectly fine and wonderful. We're going to dive in together. Just so you all know, this is a very safe space. It's meant for all of us to be open and honest and share. I will be asking you to put some things in the chat. At the end, I'm going to open it up to questions. But I really want everybody to be conscious of everybody else that's here. We are all holding space and love and compassion for all of us together right now. So I really wanted to make that an explicit statement so that we can really hold that energy. All right, with your feet on the floor and your hands on your lap, just wiggle your spine just a little bit to create some space. I know for me, I've been sitting a lot and doing a lot of computer work. So I seem to position my spine in one way, and then when I finally wake up and notice my back hurts. So just create a little space in your spine, let your shoulders relax, and gently close your eyes. If it's not comfortable to close your eyes, no worries, just softly gaze at something in front of you. The idea is just to offer yourself some stillness. So stillness of your eyes, stillness of your body, but you'll notice what arises is the thoughts in your head might pop up. But at the same time, what arises is your breath. So see if you can move your attention from the thoughts in your mind just to your breath. And to hold yourself here, sometimes it's helpful even to say to yourself, I breathe in and I breathe out. And just repeat that as your own mantra. I breathe in, I breathe out. And no matter what your morning was like so far, and no matter what tasks and attention you had to exert, allow yourself to just be here for the next hour or so together. Imagine that we're in a vacuum right now, all together, in a vortex of energy, all together. Allow that vortex just to be held by our attention and our intention to stay focused together, to share our thoughts, to share our feelings, and to be present. And together, take a deep breath in through your nose and a slow breath out. And one more time, a deep breath in. Fill yourself up with all that positive energy that we're all bringing to this hour together. And a deep breath out, just releasing what we don't need. And then softly flutter your eyes open. Coming back to our space together. Beautiful. Okay, so our topic for today is navigating the roller coaster of our emotions. So put in the chat if you have felt in the past week or so that there's been a roller coaster of emotions going through you personally or through your house. So just pop them in. Yep. Yeah, keep putting them in there. So for those of you that know me, I always share personal stories because all the work that I do is very, very personal. But it's really meant to be relevant to all of our lives. And I'm just me. I'm just like you guys. So I found that the first week of being cocooned and being all cooped up together it was lovely. It was lovely. I was savoring the stillness. I was happy our family was all together. I was welcoming the change, especially for, I work with schools and I have children. So it's been very, very chaotic. So it was very, very welcoming. And to my children who are now in their 20s, I have a 19-year-old. It was kind of exciting, something new, something different. And this week it really hit home. Like the change that we're facing now, it's not it's not a snow day anymore. It's not a long snow day. This is going to be weeks and weeks and possibly months. And that's starting to set in with all 5 of us together in the house and working together has brought up a lot of stuff for us, a lot of stuff, which I believe in the long run is good because it gives us, we have so much time now. It gives us the opportunity to ask ourselves, how do we want to be in these next few months, right? Because it really is our choice now. Before it's easy to say, I have all these errands I have to do and everybody has a busy schedule and I can't really decide how I want to lead my family or lead my day because there's so many constraints around it. Okay, we don't have that excuse anymore. Like, this is real. Like, we've got time. We've got a lot of time. So what I wanted to do to start with today is I wanted to share with you things that I'm doing with my family that are helping, and I hope that they help you. And we're going to put in some mindfulness practices in there. All right, I'm just going to look at the chats really quick. Yeah, still working remotely. Yeah, having a 4-year-old, Katie, and an 8-month-old. Yeah, what I said to my kids last night, could you imagine being a single parent? There's a lot of people that are single parents and they're working and they have young kids home. I mean, this is hard. This is not easy. Not easy. All right, let me share my screen with you. Here we go. Share. Okay. Let me go up to the. All right. So this is navigating the emotional roller coaster, and I'm just noticing. Wait, I just want to be able to see if I could still see the chat, which I can't in this mode. Can everybody see me and the chat? Can you nod? Because I could. Yes. Thank you, whoever's on your iPhone. I see it with the pink shirt. Thank you. All right. Well, maybe let's see if I put it this way. All right, we'll try it. We'll try it this way. All right. So we are all on this roller coaster, wouldn't we agree? It's not life as normal. It's a new normal, and everything really feels like it is out of control. It is out of control. And it's interesting because if we really look at our lives before, a lot of it actually felt out of control before too. This is a new feeling out of control. And I was listening to a podcast with a Buddhist monk the other day, and he was saying how, in the Western world, how our society functions is like panic and worry because everything's out of control. And in the Buddhist tradition and mindfulness in particular, it's relax because everything's always out of control. It's just two shifts in our perspective. Two totally different shifts of panic or relax. And we are in the middle of a crisis right now. And what's interesting is it's not just a health crisis. It is a crisis for education. It is a crisis for parenting. It is a crisis economically. There's nobody that is not touched by this. We are truly all in this together. But whenever there's a crisis, there is a combination of danger and opportunity. Both always exist. Always exist. What is up to us is which one do we want to focus our attention on more? And where we focus our attention is totally within our control. And right now, if we watch the TV and we read the news and we're constantly, checking our phones, the media wants us to be scared right now. And I actually feel like it's for good reason. They want us to be scared because we all need to stay home. We all need to be like secluded, stay with your family. And this is hard. It is really, really hard. And probably the best way to do that is to scare us. But the issue is that if we're constantly watching TV and our children are around TV and listening to all this, it is putting more of our attention on the danger part. So what we are really being conscious of in our house is how much news we're watching and how we are viewing that news. So what we feel is helpful is we do every day like to look at the numbers of people infected and where they are, and what the overall plan is for what are the dates that they're looking at that we might be out of that and out of this. But of course, like that's all constantly changing as well. We're all trying to really, really focus on where's the opportunity. Where is the opportunity for us as individuals, and where is the opportunity for us as a family? And this actually takes a concerted effort of looking at opportunity. And I'm not going to go into that more, but I really just wanted to put that there. Oops. And here's the thing that mindfulness really does, mindful practice really does help us embody and appreciate the reality of impermanence. And what that means is that everything is always changing, always changing. So even though we feel like we're on this roller coaster, you will notice that there are really challenging, really hard times, and then it sort of levels off, and then we dip down again. Everything is always changing. And all that there really is this moment, and this moment, and this moment. So the human mind hates uncertainty of not knowing what is happening. And it puts us really into like a fear mode of our brain, which makes us continually look for the danger, not the opportunity. But if we can bring into our awareness that everything is always changing, not just our situation with the virus, but every minute, every moment of our life, it changes. And as it changes, there are things that are challenging, but there are things and moments that are easy, that are pleasurable, that are joyful. So part of our job is, one, recognizing that everything's changing on a continual, constant basis. Number two, bringing our awareness to what is challenging, what is hard, but what is easy. Where am I gliding? Where am I finding the joy? And it might just be in a minute that you're on the floor playing with your child and not worried about work. But it's our job to like notice these things and hold on to them. I think on one of the other calls, I talked about savoring those moments that are truly joyful, that are truly easeful, savoring them and being aware of them. Because here's the thing. We're all on the roller coaster. We've all agreed we're on a roller coaster, and we got a free ticket. Whether you like riding the roller coaster or you don't, you get nauseous and dizzy, you're on it. It was a free ticket. The question that we have to ask ourselves is, how do you want to ride it? Because there might be things that you need to change for yourself in order to ride it with a bit more ease. Because now is the time for us, whether you realize this before or not, that there are things within your control and there are lots of things that are not in your control. And being able to identify those things is going to be kind of like a savior, an emotional savior for you. What is that quote? Grant me the wisdom to change the things that I can control, and let go of the things that I can't and know the difference between the two, something like that. That's really, really powerful right now. All right, so I want to share with you some tools to help you navigate you and to help your child navigate. And some of the things to help your child navigate are going to depend on the age of your child, which at the end we'll have some time for me to go over some of those for you if you have specifics. All right, so the first thing is, and these are things again that we are doing in our home. Okay, having a routine, a schedule, and a structure. You have to make one. If you had one before in your family, it probably doesn't work now. You need a new one related to your new situation. It helps to write this down. Now, if you have a child that's doing schooling online, they probably already have a schedule for that day. You might need to extend that schedule for when they wake up to when they go to bed. You may need a schedule over the weekend. Like for us, our weekend is nobody's working. It's all about play. Again, I have 20-year-olds, but it's all about play. How can we get outside more? How can we do things together in the backyard or go for a walk? But we are scheduling these things. Now, in these times, we need to schedule things that we probably didn't schedule before. So these are special additions each day. You have to have some form of exercise, moving your body, even if it's 5 minutes. Do something, run in place, jump in place, shake your body, get out, go for a walk. You have to move your body because when we are in states of fear and danger and overwhelm, our body is just producing chemicals to keep us there. So we need to release them through exercise. Another thing is self-care. And self-care doesn't mean, self-care may have meant to you before you go get your nails done, you get your hair done, you get a massage. Okay, we can't do these things. So we need to redefine what self-care is to us. And to me, self-care is any activity that you do that fills you up with feeling cared for in a loving way. To me, one of my self-care things is every morning I have a cup of coffee. That is self-care to me. It's not about the caffeine. It's about holding a warm mug. It's about my house is quiet. Nobody is up yet. It's the smell of the coffee. I happen to love the smell of the coffee, but I am savoring that moment, and I am defining that intentionally, that this is my self-care. And I'm trying to insert things throughout the day, simple things like that I already do. My shower, I shower every night. That is my self-care. Again, you have to define what is self-care for you. And it's a new definition than what you had before. The other thing is giving yourself, I'd say, compassion and forgiveness. Every once in a while, I put my hand on my heart and I just remind myself, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can with what I've got right now. And that's good enough. And I keep reminding myself that because I'm also a doer. I work a lot, those of you that may know me. So I am offering myself compassion, even in terms of my parenting, because sometimes it's not so pretty. But I'll say I'm doing the best I can. Active rest. This is not sleep. Active rest is I turn it off. I stop. I have a yoga mat in the room that I work in. I just lay down 2 minutes, but I am taking myself out of the technology realm. I'm not watching TV. I'm not listening to anything. It's just I stop. The other thing is alone time. And we've all agreed in my house, we all need alone time with nobody else around. And the last thing is just learning something new. This I haven't fully adopted yet, but my children have. For example, one of my daughters decided she wanted to learn how to paint. So I had ordered a bunch of paints and canvases, and she's on YouTube and she's learning different techniques. She's never painted before in her life. She's like, I just think I want to start. And she's already created some really, really like unbelievable things. I mean, I've said to her, like, you actually have a talent. Like, who knew? Who knew that you knew how to do this? So no matter what age your child is, you can, work together to see, like, what would you like to learn how to do? There's plenty of YouTube videos. There's free courses right now. I actually think that this is the way education is going to start to go now. I know all of your kids probably have lessons that they need to complete during the day, but imagine if your child actually picked something that they wanted to learn. They probably would be much more motivated to learn. The yellow boxes on the bottom are some things that you can do with your child. So have them write a list of things that they could do to help themselves, and write down just what feels good to them. So in their routine or their schedule or structure of the day, some of it should be that they have self-care, right? They have alone time. So what feels good to them that they could put in their list? The other thing is remind them of the things that they are already doing to take care of themselves. And these are new things that they didn't do before. So for example, every time they wash their hands, this is you taking care of you and everybody in the house. So maybe you have the opportunity to do it a bit more consciously. All right, the next one, make let go lists. I also call this for kids new house rules. What you might find now, like what was important before, actually might just be petty now. For example, my husband and I are very much like, we do like things in order. Like at night, we like the whole kitchen clean. We've always been this way. I like a clean floor. I'm always sweeping the floor. I don't like dishes left out. Okay, I've got 5 people in the house right now, and everybody's processing all of this in their own way. Before this, I might have continually reminded, like, clean that up, do that, your turn. Now I'm much more like letting it go. How important is my house being spotless? Is it really important right now? And can I let it go? And everybody needs to determine for themselves what things you can let go and what things you can't. But I promise you, there are a ton of things you got to let go. You really got to let go. They don't matter now. Next, show up for your day on purpose. Remember how I said, first week is like long snow day, we're all in our pajamas all day, barely showering, lounging around, watching a lot of movies. Okay, we can't do that for months, because that is going to bring our emotions way, way down, right? That's just going to pull us into more anxiety and probably depression. So show up for each of your days on purpose. Shower. Get dressed, even if it's from the waist up, okay? But get dressed, maybe do your hair, shave, put on makeup, whatever showing up means to you. It may not be the same thing as when you were showing up for work and driving to work, but show up. Try not to stay in your pajamas all day. Brush your hair in the morning. My youngest daughter, she went for a run the other day. She put on perfume. I'm like, are you wearing perfume? She's like, yes, it makes me feel much better about myself. So yes, I'm wearing perfume while I run. She also started putting makeup on in the morning. I mean, she's online at school, right? And she doesn't wear makeup when she is at college, but now she's like, it makes me feel better. This has been really important for me. I usually have no trouble sleeping. I do have trouble sleeping now. I'm up in the middle of the night, and having a good night's sleep, especially if you're caring for young children in your home, is super important. Have a midnight go-to plan. So I'm gonna tell you what my thing is. Before I go to bed, I listen to something inspirational. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's a podcast, sometimes it's a YouTube comedian on YouTube. I listen to something uplifting before I fall asleep, because the emotional state that we go to sleep in, it's more likely that we will wake up with that same emotional state. So if you go to bed in worry, anxiety, depression, it's very, very likely that you will wake up in those states as well. And perhaps another time I could explain the science about that, but it has been proven, and it has to do with the brain, our brain state, the rhythm of our brain waves when we're going to sleep and when we're waking up. So one of the things that I do is I make sure that I go to bed feeling good, emotionally uplifted. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I have a few go-tos. One of my go-tos is a meditation that I have all queued up on my phone, which that's kind of dangerous too, having your phone by your bed. But at night, I mean, I am pretty ritualistic. I will only turn on my phone at night to listen to a meditation, or I listen to relaxing music. So this is all like your personal preference, but have a plan so that you're not up in the middle of the night and your brain just starts to go. So I know that happens to me. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I just start thinking. And sometimes that could lead you down a tough path. Okay, this is probably one of the most important, but I saved it to the end, is having your own personal check-ins and allowing yourself to be with whatever arises. This is about you allowing yourself to be the observer of your experience. You are the observer. And in every moment, we have thoughts in our head, we have feelings and emotions in our body, and there are actions that we're doing at every moment. But there's a difference between being reactive and being on autopilot and doing things just based on the habit of how you have been in your life, your whole life, and being the observer of yourself. And I would add a compassionate observer, and noticing what is arising within you. And this is such an important time because in our history, and being homebound in this way, because it gives us the opportunity, if we choose it, to slow down so that we can notice. In our old life, in our old normal, we all rushed around, multitasked, and did a million things at one time. Now we have the opportunity to slow down and notice what is our present moment, because every moment there are thoughts going on here, there are feelings in our body, there are emotions that are occurring, and we are acting in some way. Because in that moment, in that awareness, we always have a choice. In mindful practice, we call that moment the pause, where you could say to yourself, what am I thinking right now? What feeling just happened within me? And sometimes it's easier to do this with other people, like noticing, for myself, okay, here's honesty, sitting down at the dinner table and somebody says something that sometimes I would just be like, whatever. But now we have a lot of time at the dinner table. Now noticing that when that person said that, I actually got a flare of like, that was really upsetting or hurtful in some way and not directed to me. And maybe in that moment, I don't know why that upset me, but it gives me the opportunity to, number one, notice the sensation that happened within me and then respond appropriately. So what I have been saying when I'm noticing this within me is, when you just said that, or when you just did that, that actually that hurt me. That made me a little sad. Now, it's not saying I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to say that. It's putting it on you. That's how it made me feel. And I don't even really know why, but I just wanted to share that with you, that made me feel in this way. And here's why this is really, really powerful in terms of helping you connect to yourself and the people that you are with right now in your home. It's being honest, it's being truthful, and it's not placing blame. And it gives everybody an opportunity of interacting in a new and respectful way with each other. And by doing this, it actually happens quite authentically. There's no rules around it. It's really just acknowledging your experience and acknowledging it with them. And it helps you be the perfect model for your children at every age. Because when they're having challenging emotions, especially when your kids are struggling with anxiety and stress, their way of dealing with that might be tantruming. It might be yelling at you. It might be throwing things. But if you could be a model of, oh, I just noticed like I have this feeling, and taking a moment and respecting that feeling, right? It's being with what arises. You're giving them permission to do the same. Because this is not about like, don't feel your emotions. It's about respecting them because they're informative. So some things that you can do with your children, especially if they're young, is even have a feelings chart. And you could probably get many of these online, even through images of just like emojis of feelings. And you start using them. You know what? Right now, I'm feeling like this. So pointing to the feeling. How are you feeling right now? And the younger your children are, the smaller amount you're going to want to have of those feelings. But this is giving them the opportunity to express how they feel in an age-appropriate way. And the other thing is just practicing mindfulness with them. Literally sitting down, let's take a few breaths together. Why don't we just sit here with our eyes closed and notice what we feel in our body, or notice the thoughts that we have in our head? For no other reason than let's just do this together. No expectation of any outcome. It's just the experience. All right, so I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen right now. Wait, stop share, because now I could actually see I could see some of the chats, and I wanted to. We still have some time, so I really wanted to do just a couple of practices. Okay. Homeschooling, okay. Joni, single parent, always. You wake up 1,000 times at night to check on your kids. Yeah, It's like just to reassure you that they're safe, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Before I'm going to practice, I'm going to do 2 practices with you that you can certainly share with kids of every age. Before we do the practices, does anybody have, first of all, was that helpful, what I just went over? Okay, good. Good. Great. Great. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So the 2 practices that I want to do with you, good, start managing emotions. Great. One, it's a 1-minute breath. And in that 1-minute breath, I'm actually going to use my phone. I'm going to time us on that breath. All we're going to do is count the number of exhales. Count the number of exhales. Okay, and we're going to do this 2 times. So the way that we'll do this is as you breathe in, you breathe in. As you breathe out to yourself, you're going to count 1. Then you're going to breathe in again. As you breathe out, you're going to count 2. So everybody's going to have their own number. Okay, we're going to do this for 1 minute. Okay, so get yourself comfortable, whatever that means for you. You could even lay down if that's comfortable for you. Okay, 1 minute, and we'll all hear the chime. I'm going to do this with you. All right, before we begin, we're going to do 1 breath in and out together. You're not going to count that one. Okay, so here we go. Breathe in. And breathe out. And begin counting. So breathe in. Go at your own pace. All right. So everybody remember their number. You don't have to put your number in the chat, but just nod your head if you remember your number. Remember your number. Okay. I find it so interesting that COVID-19 is a virus that affects our respiratory system. And so much of what I teach is about having a healthy respiratory system and being aware of our breath, because through our breath, we have access to so much about our mind, our neurology, our physiology, our emotions. All right, so whatever your number was, there is a rule of thumb about how many breaths per minute to help your mind and your body become more easeful and relaxed. Does anybody know how many breaths per minute for the average adult in 1 minute? If you're inhale, exhale, if you're only inhaling or exhaling to this number, helps you achieve a relaxed mind and body. Anybody know? Put in the chat, if not your number, but what you think for the average of adults. Okay, we got 8, we got 10, 5. Okay, it's 6 to 8. So sometimes I do this with kids and they're like, I got 22. Because they think it's like the more the better. It's really the slower the better. And when we're truly in meditation, it's about 3 breaths per minute. And that's not holding your breath. That is a flow in and out of breath. So obviously the fuller and longer the inhale and exhale, so the more control you have, the decreased number of breaths per minute. And the longer and slower and fuller your breath, what happens is we turn on the part of our autonomic nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system. And that sends messages from our brain to our body and our body to our brain of just relax. You don't have to think about it. It happens automatically. All right, so we're going to do the 1-minute breath again. No matter what your number was, see if you can slow it down, not by holding the inhale or holding the exhale, but consciously slowing it down so you're taking more time for your inhale and you're consciously taking more time for the exhale. Okay, so come into your comfortable position again. This is just 1 minute. Gently close your eyes or softly focus on something in front of you. Before we begin, let's take a breath in and out together. So breathe in and breathe out. We're counting our exhales. Begin. All right, just in the chat, let me know, were you able to bring that number down? And again, you don't need to bring it down from like a 10 to a 3. It's awesome if you get it from a 10 to an 8. It's just wow, 10 to a 6, Nikki. Awesome. 10 to a 5. 5 to a 3, Bunny. Awesome. Diane, 10 to 7. Great, by half. All right, so what I love about this is that it's a minute. You can all find a minute somewhere in your day. This could be a minute of self-care, because what you're doing is you are flipping the switch on your neurology of being from stress, overwhelm, anxiety mode to being more relaxed. It happens automatically. And just take a moment. We didn't do it here because I really want to get to questions, but give yourself the opportunity to just check in before you start. Like, just notice, how racy are my thoughts? Where's my heart? What am I feeling in my body? Then put on your timer for a minute. And then once the timer rings, turn it off, but then just do a quick check-in again. How does it feel right now? And what I really love about counting the breaths is it gives your mind something to focus on. Because if your mind has nothing to focus on, it will tell you what it wants you to focus on, right? And that's typically the chatty things that don't, Kim, bless you. You're welcome. It's typically like the chatty things that are not very helpful. All right, before we do our last practice, because I want to make sure that I have time and to answer any questions, and in case any of you need to run, I really do want to honor your time. So if you have any questions for me, why don't you put them in the chat right now? And I will still stay here after I answer some of the questions. I will still stay here after 10 to do one more practice with you. Are there no questions? Okay. All right, so let's do one more practice. This is called rainbow breath. And you're going to use a visualization of a color of the rainbow, and I will guide you to of what the color is for every breath. So for example, thank you, Catherine, just having the space. Great. With each breath, we're going to imagine that our whole body, from our feet all the way to the top of our head, is being filled with one specific color. I'll give you the color. And then as we exhale, I'm going to give you an affirmation. And you're going to imagine that color just going again from your head down to your feet as you say to yourself the affirmation. Okay? So let's come to a comfortable seat. And gently close your eyes. We'll start with a breath in and out together just to center ourselves together. So breathe in and breathe out. And our first color is going to be red. So begin to inhale through your nose, but as you do, imagine that the color red comes up from the floor. It fills your feet and your legs and your whole body all the way to the top of your head with the color red. And as you exhale, say to yourself, I am safe. And imagine as the air moves out of your body, so does the color. And our next color is orange. Take a deep breath in through your nose, filling yourself up with the color orange. And as you exhale, say to yourself, I am creative and full of opportunities. And the next color is yellow. Take a deep breath in, filling your body with the color yellow. And as you exhale, say to yourself, I am strong. I can do this. The next color is green. Take a deep breath in, fill your body with the color green. And as you exhale, say to yourself, I am loved. The next color is blue. Take a deep breath in, fill your body from your toes to the top of your head with the color blue. And as you exhale, say to yourself, I am honest. And the next color is violet. Take a deep breath in, fill your entire body with the color violet. And as you exhale, say to yourself, I am full of wisdom. And next, imagine that you fill yourself up, this time from the top of your head to your feet, with a bright white light. So take a deep breath in, filling yourself up from the top of your head all the way down to your feet with a bright white light. And as you exhale, say to yourself, I am complete. I have everything that I need within me. And we're going to do that breath one more time. Take a deep breath in, imagining bright white light entering your body from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. And as you exhale, say to yourself, I am complete. I have everything that I need within me. And just come to a natural breath, still holding that image of yourself filled with this white light, letting it radiate within you and surround you. Let it be your protective shield to care for your thoughts, to have compassion for all of the things that you're feeling, and to be gentle enough to forgive yourself for the moments that may not be perfect. And before we end, just place your hands on your heart. This is always a great touch point, just to come back to yourself in a loving way. And before we end for today, just think of one thing that you truly are grateful for. And then release your hands to your lap and flutter your eyes open. Okay, I am wishing you all a wonderful week and a fabulous day after having all this beautiful energy together. I thank you all. You are all what I'm very, very grateful for. Because what I truly hope is the opportunity that we all have with this crisis is to go deeper within, because we do have all the answers within. It's easy to look outside, especially when we're bombarded with so much information. Everybody just wants to tell us what to do and how to do it. But we do have this wisdom within ourselves. And we're all given the opportunity to spend the time to look at that and to honor that for ourselves. So thank you so much. I will be here again next week. I'm not sure what the topic will be. If anybody has a topic suggestion, if you want to pop it in there, that would be great. That would be helpful, because I always want to make this relevant to what people need. And also, yes, you will get a recording of this and you can share it with whoever you want. Jennifer just put in the link. If you share that link with other people, they could sign up to be for the Zoom calls, but they will also get the link to the page that has all of the previous calls. So even if some of you may not have been on the first call, you have access to that as well. Thank you, Kim. She says, this call has been one of the most grounding and comforting to me over the past 3 weeks. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. And Marissa, thank you for thanking me, but also for everybody here, okay? Because we are all in this together, and we may not be in the same location, right? We may not be, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all sharing in this experience, and we can all be here to support each other. And that's truly another thing that I want these sessions to be, a way for us to support each other with whatever it is that we're feeling and we're experiencing. Joni, I'm glad that you did get this time to reset and reinvent yourself. Why sorry? Why are you sorry? No need to be sorry. Building resistance. Okay, so here's some more topics. Building resistance, more around inserting compassion. Yeah, compassion is challenging. Or just more of this because it was amazing. Thank you, Catherine. Oh, Joni, that didn't come as a private message. Okay. All right, so we will have this recorded for everybody. And again, if you found this valuable, please share this with other people. My feeling is that the more people that can learn how to tune in, right, and learn how to manage themselves, this could be a different world that we all welcome in and wake up to once this is over. The only way it's going to happen is if we use this time wisely. It's all our choice. So our choice is, are we going to ride the roller coaster like this, waiting for it to be over, or are we going to find the way to ride it with joy and more awareness? And if we cultivate this skill now, we'll really be able to use it once we're done with this. We actually could be new ourselves from the inside out. We could be new. We might parent differently. We might run our businesses differently. We might engage with our family, even the family that we can't be present with right now, but differently. It's an opportunity. Do we want to focus on the danger or the opportunity? All right, all of you, I'm sending you so much love and thank you for your unbelievable presence today. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you come back next week. Okay. Love to you all.